Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Dear students, hope you are fine and you are doing uh, your best in remembering your lessons. Inshallah, I hope that very soon the colleges will open and you do your part of job and we are doing our best. So, today I'm going to start the fifth week, and that is the planning. There are almost six topics are there, and I start from the definition of planning. Dear students, as you all know, the planning is one of the function of management. It has a very great role in getting the objectives and goals of an organization. As per Harold Kuhn's and Hans Wehrich, uh, the planning is or it involves selecting mission and objectives and the actions to achieve them. It requires decision making, that is choosing from among alternative future course of action. Uh, Here, the authors say that planning is a process where there are many steps involved here in planning, and it involves selecting mission and objectives, choosing mission or objectives, and actions to achieve them. It means, first of all, establishing goals and objectives, and then uh, the, the manager will have to set course of action plans, how to achieve goals and objectives. First they establish the goals and objectives, then they set the action plans to achieve those goals and objectives. More than one action plans, so the best one is chosen. It requires decision making. So if there are more than one course of action, so here the decision making is will involved. The manager or leader will decide that which one is the best, uh, the prevailing circumstances. The further in the definition, he says that choosing from among alternative future course of action, uh, future course of action. There are among many, there are different alternatives are there, and they will have to choose one best. As we are already, I told you that there are different alternatives, and the best one is chosen. So, planning is a roadmap, future roadmap. It is done in present for future, and the questions like when, where, how, and when, because such kinds of questions are answered in planning. It is made always made for future purposes. It is a thinking process. It is an intellectual process. Where the intelligence is required, the manager or leader should be intelligent enough to keep in mind the uncertainty of the external environment. As we all know, the external environment is always changing. There are uncertainties in the external environment, like economic conditions. Sometimes there are high inflation, sometimes there are growth rate is low or high, or sometimes economy is recession, goes to recession. So the manager or the planner, he keeps in mind the uncertainties, and also he will have to keep in mind the limited resources of his organization. So the resources are, we all know that resources are always limited. So the planner or manager or leader, he set he establishes goals and objectives, and also sets future courses of action, keeping in mind the external environment, also as well as the internal environment. Internal environment means the resources he has, he will use. The resources means as we call it, the 5M: men, money, machine, material, and methods. The most precious resource is the human resource. Whether they are skillful or not, how they will achieve, how they will apply their skills, their expertise in undertaking the course of action. So keeping in mind all these things, the made the planner or manager makes a road plan for the organization. Uh, the planning is a formulation stage. After that, the execution will take place, the implementation will take place. When the planning is best one, the implementation will be also a good one. That will be very easy for the manager planner to achieve. So these are met before doing those things. So next he says, the author says that planning is the work the manager does to predetermine a course of action, which emerges as an outcome of planning process. The authors also say the planning is a process, means it involves many stages, just like setting goals and objectives, then setting course of action, and then choosing one best alternative, keeping in mind the resources of the organization, and also the external environment. So the best course of action is taken. So he calls it a process. So this was all about definition of planning. Now, one thing also remember that planning is forward looking. Planning is forward looking, or it is called a futuristic approach. While in the another important function of management is there, that is controlling. The controlling is backward looking. We set plans in our basis, our standards for the uh, organization, and in controlling we look backward, whether we say that whether the goals are course of action, they have been they are up to the standard or not. So coming to the next topic, that is nature of planning. Dear students, the nature of planning can be understood by examining its four major aspects. They are: it is a contribution to objectives, how it contributes to goals and objectives. It contributes to goals and objectives because it keeps in mind all the important things. It sets goals and objectives. It also sets course of actions, and also it chooses the best one, and also acting upon their best one course of action to achieve the goals becomes very easy. It keeps uh, himself updated regarding the external environment. So it always makes things in a proper way, keeping all the stakeholders with him. So it is a great contribution to objectives. The next point is, it is the primacy among the manager's tasks. And dear students, the planning is always keep on the top, because because it sets the goals and objectives. It sets the roadmap. Without roadmap, you will wandering here and there. So it keeps it makes the basis for an organization, for a project, for a goal. So the other functions, they comes later, just like organizing, staffing, leading, and controlling. So due to its features, its characteristics, the planning takes the primary stage. Next is it is pervasiveness. Pervasiveness means कि सरायत कर जाने वाली, which means it has universality. Is a universal type of thing, because planning is just like we can say that when organizing, when there is the planner or manager, when he starts organizing, so he sets authority and responsibility for different personnel, and then he while assigning authority and responsibility to the human resource, he look at the goals and objectives. He looks at the planning. So another thing is that when the staffing, when there is a staffing, when the human resource department he appoints some human resource. So how many in number? So he also look at the planning. So we say that it is a pervasiveness. It's the universal. It may be applied in each and every function. It may be applied in each and every project and for each and every program. Next is the efficiency of resulting plans. Dear students, uh, efficiency and effectiveness are very important in management. Uh, when there is an effectiveness, efficiency, it means there is a good performance. So when the planning is efficient, it means uh, it achieves the results, it achieves the objectives with a reasonable cost. Effectiveness means to achieve the objectives, relevant objectives, and efficiency means to achieve the relevant objectives at a reasonable cost, as a reasonable resource, with less resources, with less time, with less resources, and you may get the higher outputs. So the planning is also is an efficiency. Coming to the next topic, that is characteristics of planning or features of planning. Remember, dear students, in there are some things which are coming again and again, which are some terms are repeating again and again, just like the primary function, just like continuousness of a planning. These will come in characteristics as well as it may come in importance of planning. Don't confuse all these things. So the first point is this primary function. As we know that the planning is takes the primary stage because due to its significance. Uh, Next point is it achieves objectives and goals. That is a very important function. How it achieves goals and objectives, because it makes predictions, it makes assumptions for the future, and it minimizes. Also, always remember, dear students, planning doesn't mean that 100% success in the results, but it it does its job efficiently, but it minimizes. When we say choose objectives, it means it minimizes the failure, it increases, it enhances the successes. How it enhances the successes, it keeps in mind all the things, all the important things, keeps in mind. And the manager or leader sets the goals, sets the objectives, it sets the course of actions. It's apply the right people for the right job. It applies the efficiency and effectiveness. Who applies? The manager applies. So in this way we can say the planning achieves the objectives efficiently. Next point is forward looking. Planning is always done for the future purposes. So we can say the and it has also primary importance. So it looks forward, it sets goal for the future, and then other function that comes after planning. Next is it is all pervasive again. Pervasiveness means it has universality. It may apply in each and every function. It is applied in each and every organization. So it is a pervasive kind of thing. Next is continuous process. Management planning is a continuous process. It is not made for one time. The, for example, in organization there are strategic planning, then there is intermediate level plans, and then there is operational plans at lower level they are made. And when if there is some problem arises, so the contingency plans are there. So it means it is a continuous type of function. It is continuity is there. It's not a static. Next is intellectual process. It is a planning is a thinking process. The intelligent leaders and managers they made the intelligent planning and keeping in mind all the significant things. We call it is the intellectual process. It involves a choice. Definitely, there are plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D. Different alternatives are there, and then the best one is chosen according to the situation. If the first one fails, if plan A fails, then the plan B is taken, then plan C is taken, then plan D is applied as per the situation. Next topic is importance of planning. Planning has a great significance. It provides a sense of direction. Just like you students of BS, you are doing BS and you are in second semester. So as per your examination point of view, you set your goals and objectives. You set your course of action. You set resources for all these things. So how you will achieve all these things? Definitely you set a schedule for all these things. You say that you will remember your subjects by first of all listening to the online classes, then your self preparation, then also making a timetable for you for your exam, and daily on daily basis you set some timetable that you say that in the morning I will study such and such subject, and later the second time I will study some easy subjects, and in this way you set a road map for your exam, and this is your formulation, this is your planning, and then you are going to implement it. You will do it practically, so that it becomes your implementation, and the result is that when you will after examination, then it will you will came to know that how was your planning. So this was all about the importance and significance of plannings. Just like the first point, it says that it provides a sense of direction. It gives you direction. It gives just like the manager and plan, leader uh, gives direction to the employees of the organization. They become very focused. They are not confused. They don't know where to go. They know their direction, they know their destination. So it becomes easy for them to work hard. Next one is it reduces uncertainty. The planning is always made in uncertain environment, as we all know that nobody knows what will happen tomorrow. So when planning is set, it is set, it is set for the future. It makes the assumption, it makes the prediction for the future, but the assumptions and predictions are they are all systematic. Keep in mind all the uncertainties, all the important things in mind. The manager or leader sets the plan, so it minimizes the failure, it minimizes the losses, it enhances the successes. So we can say that it reduces uncertainty because it's systematic. The planning system, the course of action is very logical. So it becomes possible, it becomes successful. Next, it reduces wastefulness. The planning reduces overlapping of something, it reduces the wastage of resources. How it reduces the wastage of resources? Because if there is a course of action and many course of action, and you set the best course of action, and with best of course you have assigned the authority and assigned the roles to different people, different implies that you will have to do this and that. And that is the in this what is this is the procedure, this is the first you will do this and then this and that. And also you assign the roles to the people according to their qualifications. So and also the time or a period of time within the 6 month or 2 months, and within the specific budget, means he it means that there is it reduces the overlapping, and also reduces the wastage of resources. Next point is it consists of innovation. Innovation is very important. Creativity, innovation is a practical side of having creativity. When the organization makes very innovative products, and it brings it launches it to the market and brings into the market, you will get an edge over the competitors. Means the you know the planning, always keeps planning is done always keeping in mind the uncertainties of the environment, always keeping in mind the challenges of the environment. So it consists of innovation. The planner is always very innovative. He keeps in mind the changes, he keeps in mind the consumer needs and wants, because the consumers needs and wants always changing. They want something new, they want some variety. So the planning is always innovative, should be when there is innovation, it means it will have the organization will have an upper edge. Next point is it makes decision making easier. How it makes decision making easier? Because the planning has an alternatives. The planning has different courses of action. So when it comes to decision making, the planner will decide from among alternatives what is the best one, keeping in mind the situation of the market. So the planning, we can say that it makes decision making easier. It establishes standards. The planning sets the standards, just like there is a standard for the your exam, PS exam, that the students should get CGPA above 3, and it is less than 3, then that will not acceptable. Or we can say in animal system, that is aggregate must be above 40. The passing marks should be above 40. That is the standard. And if students fails to get 40% marks, it means he is not up to the standard. So the standards are set. The planning sets the standards for the human resource, sets the standards for the course of actions. So to achieve the goals and objective becomes very easy. Limitations of plan, as we all know, there are always there are disadvantages or limitations in each and everything. So here are some limitations. The first one is resistance to change. uh, we can say there is a rigidity in planning when the manager says that no, I in the middle of the project, when he says that no, I should change this and those things, I should change the overall plan, or I should adopt the other things, so it becomes very difficult. So because a lot of resources are concerned, and also the to get permission is also becomes very difficult, such an stage in the middle or in the end of the project, it becomes very difficult. So we can say that there is some rigidity, some resistance to change. Next limitation is next shortcoming is not ideal in dynamic conditions. When such there are some such urgency conditions. The already set plans to follow such plans, already set plans becomes very difficult as per changing as per changing situation. So to change at such a time, it becomes somewhat difficult. So we can say that it's not ideal in dynamic conditions. It can also reduce creativity of the planner or manager, because they very much execute the already set plan. So to bring some kind of innovation and creativity into the activities of the plan becomes somewhat difficult. Time and cost constraints, always there are time constraints, also other resources constraints, that there is specific budget and a specific time, and the work will have to, or project will have to finish, will have to complete, suppose within 1 year or 2 year. The critics say that planning has such limitations, that it will have to complete by hook or by crook. Next point is not completely accurate. It is understood thing that planning is not 100%. There are some maybe some failures are there, but the planning is, however, reduces and minimizes the failures. The futility of predictions, as per limitations. The critics say that the planning is made for the future. The manager makes predictions or assumptions, so these assumptions and predictions are not accurate. They may not be accurate, they may not be 100%. So it means it's a futile exercise, a fuzul kam hai. No, but these limitations are there, but not so much significant. However, the importance of planning, we cannot reduce this importance of planning. Next is external contents, constraints are there. There are always in the external environment, there are also external constraints, just like the external environment is uncontrollable, like economic conditions, like political conditions. The manager, it says that planning is also has shortcoming, that the planning may become fail due to external uncertainties. However, keeping in all these limitations, the planning is should must be done, although it and everything has some shortcomings, some limitations. But uh, having all these things, we cannot ignore the its importance, its significance. Planning is always done. Without planning, there is no success, there is no achievement of goals and objectives. uh, so next topic is that is essentials of a good plan. And these essentials of a good plan are, the first one is integration. Dear students, always keep in mind that integration is very important. The different steps of a plan should be integrated with one another, just like the setting goals and objectives should be integrated with the different activities. Yeah, action plans should be integrated. Also, it should be integrated with different rules and procedures. The integration should be there. They should be very closely connected with one another, so that there should be harmony among the human resource, and the human resource will efficiently and effectively utilize the resources of an organization. The next point is market research also should be there. A good plan means it should be research oriented. The manager or planner or the leader should first of all find out the needs and wants of the consumer or customer, what the consumer or customer they want. So they should make the products, they should make the plans according, keeping in mind the audience, keeping in mind the customers needs and wants. If the plan is customer focused, it is audience focused, or it is market focused, means it is a good plan. It should keep in mind the competitors, it should keep in mind the uncertainties of the market or external environment, also keeping in mind the internal resources. Next is careful analyzation. The manager or planner should carefully analyze the situation, should carefully analyze the internal environment, should carefully analyze its internal resources, and also carefully analyze the challenges and threats in the external environment. So that's become a good plan when he will carefully analyze it to make a perfect plan will be possible. So it maximizes the chance of success. Next is coordination. Coordination means corrupt. There should be a coordination among different departments within the organization. A good plan means it should have a coordination within the managers as well as non-managers. Within the group or within the team, there should be coordination. So if there is a coordination among different departments, among different human resource, because they are actually making the difference. So if there is a coordination, means it is a good plan. It is a successful plan. It's consistent. The planning should be consistent. It should consistently achieve. There should not be a break. The policies should be consistent. The implementation should be consistent. तसलसल के साथ, without any break, the goals and objectives should be achieved. So that is very important. Next is flexible. Plan should also be flexible enough to make changes as per situation, as per the external environment. The environment demands some changes, so it should be flexible enough to bring changes. Next is acceptable. The good plan should be acceptable to each and every member of the team. They should be acceptable to all the stakeholders. So they will take interest. They will be motivated to the goals. They will be motivated to increase their performance. They will be motivated to become highly efficient and effective. And next is participative. The good plan should be participative. We should bring inputs from each and every employee, from top management, middle and lower management, from each and every member of the team. You should get inputs, and it should involve them in decision making. If it is participative, means they are involved in decision making. it means the employees will consider themselves uh, consider themselves that they are giving respect, and so they will be motivated. Next is clear objectives. The good plan. It achieves goals and objectives. It sets the goals. It sets clear goals, not ambiguous. Ambiguous means mubham. The goals and objectives should be clear. Have a good plan. It should be clear to the employees. They should not be confused. What is they should know their objective and goal. It should be clear to them. It should be easily understandable to them. Next is effective communication system. The communication is such an important thing. Is a lifeblood of an organization. If there is an effective communication from top to bottom, and bottom to the top, diagonal, horizontal, vertical. If the communication system is effective, just remember, dear students, that the orders flows from top to the bottom, the directives flows. These are the communications, written communication or oral communications. They flow from top to bottom. And the what is the type of communication? The from bottom to top, it is suggestions. These are reports, goes from bottom to the top. So if there is a free flow of communication, it means it is a good plan. These were all about the planning, nature of planning, characteristics, limitations, importance, and essentials of a good plan. Hope that you have understood the all these important topics. And if you have any query, you may contact me, inshallah ta'ala. I will answer to you. And in the end, I would say that just work hard. There is nothing difficult, but that is the important thing is the commitment, the sincerity and honesty. These things will bring success, inshallah ta'ala. And in the end, I would say that subscribe, like, and comment to the channel. And inshallah ta'ala, next time I will come with a new topic. Thank you so much.